right, well, welcome back to Module 3 of How to Recruit 20 People in 30 Days. We talked in Module 1 about preparation. We talked in Module 2 about filling the funnel, getting that calendar just packed with action and activity, sending out those, getting the contacts put together and sending out text messages to everyone, getting as face-to-face as you possibly can in that process, and I hope you've accepted the challenge. Now, some of you may have not accepted that challenge yet. You haven't decided you're going to do that yet because you're still wanting to know, what do I do once I get all these people? I don't have enough, I need somebody to do this presentation with me. I need some help. I need some guidance. I need some direction. What do I say? Because maybe I'm brand new or, you don't know what to do. So I will tell you, the biggest, most important part of increasing your effectiveness in presentation, because that's what we're really talking about now, is presentation. The biggest part is telling your story. Telling your story. This is really important, and there are 4 parts to every person's story. You might not know your story right now. Let me help you create your story. Because when you sit down with a person, one of the first things you're going to do over the course of this Recruit 20 in 30 process is you're going to tell your story. So in that, you've got, the first is, I'll just make this A and then I'll make this 1. Part 1 is your background. You're a doctor, you're a teacher, you're a nurse, you're a business owner, you're a employee for some company, you're a salesperson, you're a banker, you're a firefighter, whatever it happens to be, okay? Part 2 is what you didn't like about it. What didn't you like about your background? Let's say you're a teacher, for example. I know a lot of teachers, and I'm a teacher at heart. I'm teaching now, right? So here's what I know about teachers. They're underpaid for what they do, the value that they put out in the world. They live in a very political environment. They have to watch their back. It's very political inside of educational institutions. There's a limit to how much they can earn, no matter how good they are or how much better they are than somebody else in the educational system. There's only so much they can earn. They're a little bit of a slave to their passion. In other words, the system knows that they care so much for their students that they'll pay for their school supplies. They'll go above and beyond. They'll put in the extra hours without being paid for it. They'll do all that stuff because they know that they're passionate about it, and they kind of take advantage of that type of a situation. The hours are a little bit crazy, so I know that about teachers. So if a person's a teacher, say, yeah, my background is I'm a teacher, maybe you love it, maybe you don't, but whatever it is. But here's the challenges with being a teacher. Political environment, I'm not really paid what I'm worth. The hours are a little bit crazy, and there's limits to how much I can earn no matter how good I am. So if you're a teacher, does that sound familiar? If you're not a teacher, you know some teachers, I promise you, that's what's going through their mind. So what you didn't like. And then 3, that you found a solution. Maybe it's in the form of the product, maybe it's in the form of your opportunity, but you found a solution to what you didn't like through the opportunity that you're sitting down and sharing with another person. And number 4 is how you feel about the future. Here's my background. Here's what I didn't like. Here's the solution that I found, and here's how I feel about the future. Now, when I do live events, we just had a city tour here in the United States. When I do live events, I do an exercise, and I'm going to actually pull some footage from a live event and have you watch this, because it's very difficult for you to truly understand the impact of your story without the exercise. And I role play this in an audience. And what I do is I have them tell their story with a stranger in the room, and then I get their feedback. And then I have them do it again with a little bit of a different twist, and then I have them do it a third time with a little bit of a different twist. So what I would like to do now is I'd like to have you watch a live event that we did where we go through this exercise and really try and internalize the impact of what's happening in the telling of the story because it's such a critical aspect to what you're going to need to do in order to be able to really build a relationship, build trust, and transfer belief with your prospects, okay? So check that out, and I'll come back when it's done. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to stand up and find someone who speaks your language that you do not know. It's very important that you don't cheat with this. Don't go to your friend next to you and let's pretend we don't know each other. Don't do that. Okay? So find somebody you do not know, and I want you to tell your story to each other. Following these 4 steps that you wrote down, use it as a little cheat sheet. We'll put it up on the screen so you can see the 4 during this. I want you to go through the 4 steps. Tell them your background, what you didn't like, the solution that you found, and how you feel about the future, and then reverse it so the other person does it back to you, okay? Now you have 4 minutes to do this. 4 minutes to find a person, tell the story back and forth. Are you ready? Set, go.
Oh, 'cause you're always trying to get ahead of life.
All right, give yourselves a big round of applause, everybody. Go ahead and sit down. Go ahead and sit down. Okay, what did you learn? Give me some observations. Those of you who did this exercise, what did you learn? Anyone? Anyone who can tell me in English? Yes, what did you learn?
I learned from Mateo that he's very happy now that he has this possibility to be...
No, give me more observations of the exercise. What was it like to share your story? What did you learn by sharing your story and having somebody share theirs? Not exactly their details, just the process.
It's nice to see that we it's nice to see that we all feel free.
It's nice to see that we're all kind of the same, right? Did you notice that you have similarities with the other person? How many people notice that you have something similar with the other person? How many people were surprised that you actually could make a connection with another human being that fast? Within a few minutes. Especially guys. Women do this naturally. They'll go into the bathroom and they'll come out best friends. Guys, we struggle with this. What else did you learn? What was this hard or easy? Easy. It's not hard. Will you get better with practice? Yes, you'll get better with practice. Yes.
You can live your dream.
You can live your dream. How many people felt it was interesting? It felt good for someone to listen to your story? Was it good? How many people felt honored that someone was willing to share their story with you?
Same.
How many people felt, as they were sharing the story, that you wanted to hear more? Anyone? Interesting, right? Any other observations? Any other observations? How many people found yourself wanting to help the other person? Anybody feel like you wanted to help the other person when they were telling their story? Interesting. Now, will you please put up the 4 questions again, or the 4 parts again, up on the screen? Production guys? Can you throw up what's up on the Elmo? There you go. Now, I'm going to ask you a question. Which one of these is the most important? 1, 2, 3, or 4? Background, what you didn't like, the solution, or how you feel about the future? Now, how many people feel, and there is an answer, it's not all of the above. How many people feel like it's number one? Show of hands. Almost no one. How many people feel like it's number two? Show of hands. How many people feel like it's number three, the solution? Show of hands. How many people it's number four? How you feel about the future? Show of hands. Most people feel like it's number four. Guess what it is? Number two. Number two is by far the most important. Let me explain why. Nobody cares how cool you are. Nobody cares about your future. Nobody cares about all your accomplishments, and nobody cares about your dreams, all that stuff. Guess what they care about? Guess when they build a relationship with you? When you share your pain. When you share your vulnerability. When you share your heartache. When you share your challenges. That's when you become a human being. That's when they trust you. We've been taught through our lives to never share our weakness. To share weakness is death. That's what we've been taught. But in our business, we're in a relationship business. In order to build rapport and build relationship, people need to understand that you're willing to be vulnerable with them. And here's what I will tell you. If you're willing to be vulnerable with another person and share your real pain, they're going to be willing to drop all of the pretense and share theirs with you. And now you have the basis of a real relationship, a real conversation. So in a moment, I'm going to ask you to do this exercise again. Okay? And I want you to find a new person that you do not know. It's very critical that you use a person that you do not know and you don't cheat with this. Don't cheat yourself with this process. Play like a pro. I want you to do the 4 things again, but this time I want you to put more emphasis on number 2. I want you to be raw and honest and authentic and real about the things that you've struggled with, that your challenges in your background. Be honest with it. Doesn't need to be longer. It just needs to be more authentic. Okay, you prepared to do that? All right, you have 4 minutes. Ready, set, go. Thirty seconds. And okay, give yourselves a big round of applause, everybody. Find your seats, please. You've now done this twice. Who has some observations? Anybody have any observations about this second time? Willing to share? Yes. It's more comfortable second time. How many people felt more comfortable the second time? Yes? What other observations? Yes? Anyone? What did you learn? Yes? You need to listen more. Listening is powerful, isn't it? Maybe even asking some more questions about it is helpful. Yeah. Sometimes when it's all about you, you need to make it a little bit about them. People love to tell their story if you give them an opportunity. What else did you learn? Anyone? Yes? You feel more connection. How many people felt more connection this time than the first time? Because you shared your pain. You shared a little bit more of your real self. So you can build a relationship with a person fast through that kind of conversation versus, oh, I'm so cool, I'm so amazing. What else did you learn? Any other observations? Anyone? Yes. It's easier the second time. You know, the average doctor will spend 18,000 hours of practice in order to get good at what they're doing. You just practice twice. Okay? If you learn to tell your story over and over and over, you're going to do better. You'll refine it.
I felt more confidence to talk.
You felt more confident the second time. Yes. Build your confidence and build your posture. All of a sudden,
Also to talk my story.
to tell your story. Yes. Exactly. So if you're willing to do this over and over, you feel more comfortable, feel more rapport. Did it feel like a sales pitch? Did it feel salesy? No. When somebody was telling their story to you, did you feel uncomfortable? No, not really. It was simple. It was real. Even though you were talking about your solution, how you feel about the future, that's fine. When you talked about your background and what you didn't like about it, that was the thing that really opened the door for you to be able to listen to them. Now, throw up the 4 parts again. I'm going to ask you to do this one more time. This time, don't leave your seat. I just want you to do it with the person sitting next to you. Okay? But this time, all you get to do, hold on, all you get to do is 3 and 4. You don't get to talk about your background and you don't get to talk about what you didn't like. All you get to talk about is your solution and how you feel about the future, okay? That's all you get to do. No matter how much anybody asks, you have to only do 3 and 4. Okay? You ready? Stay in your seats and go ahead and do it. Set, go. All right, stop. All right, how did that feel? Not good. Give me some observations. It missed something. What else? It's still okay, but it's not as good. How many people felt like it was pushy? Like it was salesy? Right? Awkward. How many people felt like you didn't kind of know how to start? Felt a little strange? Yes?
We are women, it's not our problem.
Yes, I understand. What other observations with this? Any other observations? Yes. It became very skeptical. You're like, hey, what are you doing? What's going on? Now, I want you to understand something. What I just had you do is what most of you have been doing your whole career. And that's how you've been making people feel. By talking about the solution that you found and how you feel about the future. Now understand, 3 and 4 were the same 3 and 4. And if you just do 3 and 4, you have people skeptical, people resistant, people pushing away, people not wanting to listen, people saying, not for me, not asking questions like, no, I'm out. But if you do your background and how and what you didn't like about your background, now they're moving forward. Yes, tell me more. Yes, I'm interested. Yes, I want to help. You feel the difference? It's all the difference in the world. If you'll do all 4, your results are going to triple immediately. Immediately. People are going to go from pushing away from you to walking towards you, wanting to be connected with you, if you'll do this. How many people learned something about your story, your own story, that you didn't know prior to this or hadn't been communicating? Anyone? Yes, just learning to tell your story. Some of you haven't told it to anyone. Your family doesn't know your story, really. You never even really thought about your story, really. So it's so important. This is critical. The strongest people in network marketing are the people who tell the story the best. Take a look at your career level 8 people, and they're just incredible storytellers. That's what they are. They learn to tell stories. They tell their own story. They tell other people's stories. That's what they do all day, every day, all day, every day. Story, 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 story. That's what tells you, gives the facts better than anything else can do. Okay? All right, I'm going to ask you to do it. Remember, a doctor does 18,000 hours of practice. If you're exhausted after 3 times, we might have to question you a little bit. I want you to find one more stranger that you do not know, and I want you to pour your heart out. I want you to give them all 4, 1, 2, 3, and 4. Don't cheat with a friend, and do it the 4th time. Do it for real, okay? One last time before before I finish this session. Stand up, find a partner, ready, go. Okay, shh. Now, why do I ask you to do this 4 different times? Here's why. The reason why I ask you to do this 4 different times is this is what we do. This is the business we've chosen. We are in the business of telling stories. In the business of communicating and building rapport and relationship with other people. We need to learn to do this. We need to learn to open ourselves up. Whether you're introverted or extroverted, this is part of what we do. Every day we get out there and we talk to people. When we say, well, what do I say to them? I don't know what to say. Just tell them your story. When you go buy a new pair of shoes, they say, well, hold on a second. Let me just tell you my story while you're finding my size. When you're looking at a new car, let me tell you my story. When you're eating at a restaurant, let me tell you my story. When you meet somebody and you're out having a drink, let me tell you my story. When you tell your story, what's that going to make them want to do? Tell you their story back. And now you have a beginning of a conversation. You have something to be able, as a foundation, to see if there's a fit between what you have to offer and what they might need. Our stories. All right, so I hope you got value from seeing that. Isn't that better than what we can try and accomplish here? Seeing the impact and the lessons that the people learned in the room, I hope had an impact on you. Because if you're focused just on 3 and 4, which most people do, they get together and they say, let me tell you about the solution. Let me tell you how I feel about the future. It feels a little empty. It feels pushy. It feels salesy. But if you'll do your background on what you didn't like, and if you'll put emphasis on what you didn't like, in other words, you're willing to share your pain, you're willing to be vulnerable, when you'll do that, you can say the same 3 and 4, and now people will want to help you. Now people will want to lean forward and listen. Now people want to engage. Now people want to be a part of whatever it is that you're doing, if you'll do 1 and 2, okay? So it's really important. Most people in network marketing, all they do is 3 and 4, all day, every day. And they wonder why they don't get results. If you'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4 with a particular emphasis on number 2, you can do it fast. You can tell your story fast. Now, some of you, what I want you to do is in the workbook, there's a little story creation tool. I want you to fill in your story. And then I want you to practice telling your story. Because maybe your family member doesn't know your story. Maybe your friends don't know your story, really. Because all you've been doing is 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4, 3 and 4. You need to tell your story to your family. You need to tell your story to your friends. You need to tell your story to your spouse. You need to tell your story to your kids. You need to tell your story to anybody and look for opportunities to tell your story. And believe me, during the 20 and 30, you're going to be telling your story a lot. A lot. Okay? And I hope you got a feel for the importance of this. Every single one of you watching this can create a story that's compelling. Every one of you has a story that's interesting. And you have more in common with the prospects that you're talking to than you even realize if you're willing to follow this format, okay? So that's the story. Part A of a presentation is tell the story. Part B, man, oh man, this thing is so tight. Part B is do the thing. Tell the story, do the thing. That's a presentation. That's all it is. And here's what I mean by do the thing. Every company, and why I can't be super specific with you on it, because every company is different. Some company might be sample the product. Tell the story, sample the product. Some companies might be show the video. Tell the story, play the video. Some companies might be tell the story, show the presentation book. Might be tell the story, go online to the website. Okay, so whatever that happens to be. Tell the story, do the thing. Whatever the thing is inside of your company that your leadership recommends because that's the thing that gets the best results, tell the story, do the thing. If you tell the story, they'll be open to the thing. If you don't, if you just focus on solution and how you feel about the future, they'll be resistant to the thing. They'll resent the thing. Okay, and I hope you got that through the example. Tell the story, do the thing. Tell the story, do the thing. How long should that take you? You should be able to tell the story and do the thing in less than 20 minutes. Tell the story is a couple minutes. Do the thing is what? 10 minutes, 12 minutes? How long is the video? How long is the presentation? How long is the, to go through the presentation book? How long is the website presentation, the webinar, whatever it is that you're showing them? How long does it take for them to get a product experience? Whatever it happens to be. Not that long. Tell the story, do the thing, and then make an invitation. We're going to talk about that in the next module. What is the invitation that will help them move forward at the end of the exposure? Okay? Tell the story, do the thing. Tell the story, do the thing. If you tell the story, you're going to get way less questions and objections. If you tell it this way. If you tell just solution and how you feel about the future, you're going to get lots of questions and lots of objections. Lots of resistance, lots of resentment. If you put this in there, you'll eliminate that. Most of the questions will go away, and people will actually want to help you. Tell the story, do the thing. You're going to do that 100 times over the course of a month. Can you do that? Is that possible to do? Tell the story, do the thing? Yes. And once you start telling the story, you're going to get addicted to it. You're going to look for people and say, oh, wait, let me tell you my story. You meet people in the elevator. Hold on 1 second. We have 2 minutes. Let me tell you my story. You're going to buy shoes, and you're going to say, well, hold on. You're a really sharp salesperson. Can I tell you my story real quick? Tell the story at every presentation, every time you get on a call, every time you get on a three-way call, every time that you're following up with somebody. Let me remind you about my story. If you do a home meeting, if you do a lunch meeting, if you do a one-on-one, two-on-one, tell the story, tell the story, tell the story. Tell the story, do the thing. Tell the story, do the thing. Got it. Understand? You're going to do this 100 times. Tell the story, do the thing. What is our goal? Education and understanding. Okay? So that is, first part is preparation. Second part is filling the funnel, getting those contacts put together and inviting those people to fill the calendar. And third part is telling the story, getting the presentation taken care of. All right? Now, in the next module, we're going to talk about closing. What do you do after you tell the story and do the thing to help them make a positive decision about the product or the opportunity? Okay? That's it for this module. See you on the other side, and we'll talk to you about closing.